revision. So, can you still see my screen okay? Just give me a thumbs up. Yeah, yeah, lovely, lovely, lovely. So, welcome to this week's Members Weekly group coaching session as part of the Personal Brand Hub. The Personal Brand Hub is a community which I have created for founders that are on a similar mission to build strong, memorable personal brands that position them as the go-to experts in their industry and help attract the right opportunities and clients. This week, we're talking about your vibe is your strategy, turning the way people feel around you and about you into a magnetic personal brand without pretending to be a strategist. Now, this photo here is my sister and I this week in IKEA. We later discovered that these are not hats, they are in fact seat covers. Anyway, we had some good fun with them. So if you've been here before, you will recognize my personal brand framework for founders. I mention this every time because I'm keen to ingrain it. The Be More You framework. So it's a principle of being more you, being more authentic, but also it is an anagram, that's the right word, of for beliefs, experiences, moments, opinions, results, expertise, your why, others, so collaborations to expand your network, and being unfiltered. So once you share those aspects consistently, then you will start to attract better clients, more aligned clients, sorry, should I say, better aligned opportunities. So that could be podcasts, speaking gigs, talent, if that's what you're looking for into your company. So they'll reach out to you rather than you having to hire recruiters, and investment, so funding, if that's what you're looking for into the business. So this first slide here, I had what is initially I had what is a vibe with your personal brands, and I removed it because I thought, well, actually, what would a personal brand be without a vibe? And I know it can seem a bit of a wishy-washy tone, a bit of an Americanism, but your vibe is the emotional tone or the feeling that people associate with you when you're there and when you're not in the room. So it's the energy that you give off in meetings, in messages. So you could use some unique language within your messages. My friend Callum constantly uses treacle, um, which is sort of unique to him. It does sometimes grate us a bit as we're part of another group, but that's who he is. And I kind of respect him for that. So um, you could use unique youisms. Is that the right word? In your emails, in your text messages, in your WhatsApps. I use darling quite a lot, only with friends, because in business it would be quite weird. But hello, darling. Blackadder there, right? Um, it's what makes people. It's what makes the right people say, "I just like them. I trust them." And without a vibe, your personal brand has no emotional resonance, it has no energy, and it has no sense of what it's like to actually work with you or what it's like to be in a room with you. So, for example, if you're creating videos online, that's a great way of showing people how you communicate. This is how I talk. This is how I get my point across, etc., etc. Now, I was complimented last week for including you guys in this, so I've carried on with that strand. Wendy, I haven't included you yet. Sorry. It's
That's
just
fine.
isn't it?
I don't know what you put in there.
So I know I'd like to think, oh goodness me, I've locked my screen. Why does it do that? Right. James H. So I would associate you with being calm, competent, credible, and people first energy. Gary, who's not here today, and this is your vibe. Gary, who's not here today, his vibe would be down to earth, honest, local, creative with heart and passion. And James, I haven't worked with you as much, especially on a one-to-one basis, but definitely intelligent, bloody hell, relatable, and the vibe you give off is not another finance bro energy. Like, forgive my language, but that kind of like big dick energy that you get in London from people. You've got a pure mission, right? You've got an altruistic mission. Oh, and that's Sam, by the way, if you haven't already. He's a guy I went to school with who is semi-famous now. He's and the reason I've included him is not as my claim to fame, but Sam epitomizes and personifies my be more you principle. He spent 10 years grafting online, creating short form video content. He's very authentic, he's very funny, and he's now got retainers with Disney, Guinness, some of the big fitness brands because he's into CrossFit as well. And I'm proud to say I went to school with him, and he's rubbing shoulders with the Hollywood stars now. Lucky bastard. So why your vibe is this? Go and follow him if you haven't. Why your vibe is the strategy. People buy how you make them feel, not just what you do. So this is like the old traditional kind of like, I suppose you typically hear this from like a business coach, wouldn't you? Which I don't kind of want to be, but it's very important to understand this, that people are buying the problem that you solve. So if I go and say to someone, like if you're in a sales meeting, for example, and you're asking questions and they're giving you back their challenges and they're like, yeah, I'm really struggling with this. I'm worried about this. This keeps me up at night. You then give your solution in response, which then gives them a feeling, right? Keyword here, of reassurance of Ben's here to solve my problems, or Wendy's here to solve my problems, or James is here to solve my problems. Right? It's that emotional. People buy on emotion, don't they? They don't buy on anything else. To start with, anyway. Most founders' personal brands fall flat because the personality is MIA. You go on LinkedIn and the content's as dry as a Rivita. But when your vibe is clear, you start attracting the right people when you're authentic. I've got a quick little story time for you from this week. I was recommended to work with someone and had a really great conversation with them yesterday, which in itself is a testament to my personal brand, because it shows that what the message I'm giving out to the world is making people say, oh, he needs to speak to him, or she needs to speak to him. And when I sat down with them, I said, who put you in touch? Why did they put you in touch? And they said, the person that recommended you, Ben, said he might not be your cup of tea. And my reaction to that is bingo, jackpot, ding, 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 because that signifies, you're going to see lots of content over this next week, by the way, because I heard this and I thought, right, I'm going to carry on with this, because it demonstrates and signifies that I'm not trying to appeal to everyone. It's saying this guy might not be right. This guy is not right for everyone, but he's definitely right for you, because deep down, that person that recommended me knows that we'd get along. And guess what? We got along like a house on fire. And most importantly, it wasn't just about that. I was actually very well placed to help him, which is really important. It's not just about vibing and getting along. It's about being actually placed to help them. So for example, if you can't, I don't help people that aren't willing to be authentically themselves. I can't. I'm going to waste your time. You're going to waste your time, and you're going to waste your money. Most importantly, you need to be able to step out that comfort zone. And that I've learned that the hard way. And starting a business, James, you're going to have to learn that the hard way. You're going to have to work with people that misalign with you to understand what aligns with you. Anyway, that's a story for another time. You can't fake it, and that's great. You don't create a vibe. You don't create a person. Sorry, I've got something I've been sanding just before this. You don't create a vibe, and same with your personal brand. You don't create it. You build upon it. You get clearer upon it, and you communicate it even clearer through your content, through your messaging, and even sat in client meetings. You know, you're giving off that vibe of this is what I stand for. This is what I don't stand for, Mr. or Mrs. Client. Yeah, so you already have one, the same as your personal brand. What you do need is to stop muting it online. So show that energy, show the words that you use offline. And look, if that means swearing, try it. If you don't swear in real life, don't try it. It's about reflecting that offline personality, that offline vibe online. That's literally what I do. When you let it show, your personal brand will start to do the heavy lifting for you. And I know that firsthand, having run my previous business, that when you build a personal brand, the opportunities are attracted to you and the clients. And it starts to do the heavy lifting. And what I mean by this, like, great example of this is someone said to me recently, "Oh, I hate networking. I don't want to do networking anymore." And my response is, "Why do you do it then? You know, that's sort of like low leverage stuff that drains your energy. There might not be the right people in the room. If you should spend like a couple of years at the start of your business networking, getting to know people, putting in the reps, right? You've got to put in the reps. Same with like content. Um, but after a while, if your personal brand isn't doing the heavy lifting, your reputation, your network, people recommending you, your online presence, then why are you still doing networking? You need to take a look at why you're still doing it or having to do it. I mean, like the online face-to-face networking, not networking in general. Sorry. Shaping your vibe without performing. You're not an actor, you're a founder, but you can shape people's perception of you. The goal is alignment with your clients and the wider world. It's not about performance. And small tweaks can make a really big shift in how your audience feel. I was going to say something on this point, but I can't quite remember what I was going to say. So I might come back to it. That's okay. Right, examples for the gang, part one. James Hartley, lean into that warm, thoughtful challenger vibe. That is your edge. That's what makes you different. Gary is the Scottish lad done good, part of his personal brand DNA. The clients are buying into him, not the drone shots, and that's something that Gary and I have been working on quite a lot. He was guilty of listing off his services and saying, "I can do this, this, and this, and I'm a one-stop shop." No, Gary, I'd say this even if he was here. People are buying into you, mate. Okay. And James, I'm quite proud of this one. You're the mate who actually knows what he's doing with money. And that tone could be gold. Keep it human and not high horse like other finance wankers that you get in the big city jobs and stuff like that.
Sorry, Ben. Do you mind if I just chip in there?
Of course you can, mate. Yeah, sorry, should have got you in. Sorry.
No, it's, I was trying to think when I was doing my landing page yesterday,
Go on. Yeah.
just about like a little, I guess slogan is probably the best word to describe it.
What were
Do you
you
mind if
thinking?
I like nick that thing
At
there?
what point?
Yeah. It's just really good. I quite like that. Your mate who actually
What
knows.
other stuff did you come up with? What things were you thinking about?
I was just trying to keep it simple, really, just like a one-liner sentence almost. Um, I think at the end, I didn't finalize it or anything, but I was just using like I do the research so you didn't have to, just boring generic things really. Because I
That
was
could
in a bit of a rush to get to work last night just before.
that could
Um,
form other parts of your message.
what was that, sorry?
That could form other parts of your message.
Yeah,
Write
yeah,
that stuff down, and that could be, if you've got like a more longer winded version of what you do, then put that in there. But if
yeah,
you want like a one catchy um slogan, it kind of needs to be catchy,
yeah,
memorable, maybe slightly humorous as well, because that makes it memorable, right?
yeah,
Um, yeah, and most importantly, you. It needs to sound like you.
yeah,
Um, so examples, this is content ideas. So James Hartley, change isn't a shiny new process, it's human experience, and too often we forget that. So it's about you leading the transformations led by emotion and not the what was it, the nine. Go on, unmute yourself. Chip in here if you want. I forgot what it's called.
9 box grid.
That's it. Yeah, that's your vibe, right?
Yeah.
That's what you give off. How do you feel about that? Does that feel like it aligns?
Yeah, it really does. And I guess my question was, do you start with what you think the words are of your vibe and kind of build around that? Or does it kind of emerge more organically that your vibe comes as a result of what you've written?
It's a very good question, and I suppose reflecting upon the past couple of weeks, especially with these group sessions, we've been talking a lot about listening to what people say about you.
Yeah.
So a very good piece of market research for anyone building a personal brand is speaking to others. And that's part of my job in one-to-one, is to sit there as a third party from the outside and go, right, this is what I associate you with, this is your vibe, and I try and pick that out. But to get even more accurate on that, your vibe, it's better to speak to other people and then take what they say and work around that. If there are things that don't feel right,
Yeah.
then that's a point of reflection. It's like, okay, why have they said that? That's really interesting. I'm trying to think of an example I had um, with this. Yeah, well, people, for example, in my line of work, thinking that am a LinkedIn coach. I suppose part of that is but that's not what I do. So I sort of made that. A few people approached me and said that, and I'm like, no, I'm not. So I went back to my messaging and made sure that formed part of it, if that makes sense. Gary, a behind the scenes of a local drone shoot told with humour and a bit of self-deprecation. Brits love a bit of that, don't we? The tall the tall poppy syndrome, it's called, I think. Tall poppy syndrome. James, a relatable story about what you used to believe about investing and how it's evolved, changed, and why. So maybe it's a book you've read, right? Or maybe it's someone you've met networking, and they've changed your perception. Maybe you met like an old stuffy financial advisor and they changed your perception. Does that feel right, James? James Knox? These are content ideas.
Yeah. I mean, it probably has changed. Um,
Has it evolved?
yeah. I mean, I used to just sort of invest kind of blindly, really, just based on sentiment. But now after the books I've read and everything, and just even just YouTube videos of watching things like that, just sort of changed my perception on I mean, sentiment will only get you so far, really. Whereas investing in good fundamental businesses,
Finger in the air. Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, it's the importance really, and
Yeah. There's a
how it
brilliant content idea there, right? Brilliant content idea right there, mate.
Yeah, I've noted it down here. I need
Right.
to sort of just look into starting the content really.
Good. Good.
Um, yeah.
Good. Right. Vibe-led personal brand equals less selling, more pulling. This is the whole principle of personal branding, is that you attract, you don't have to convince. And I've gone even more hardline on that now, especially me personally, and the stuff I'm reiterating to my clients is you shouldn't have to convince people to work with you with a strong personal brand. Your personal brand should do the heavy lifting and the talking for you through your messaging, content, consistency. Um, you know, running my old business for 4 years, it got to the point where I wasn't even doing sales calls. I was just sat there talking about the product. This is how it works. Ready to buy. They were pretty much ready to buy upon the point of reaching out to me, because my personal brand had done so much heavy lifting. You never have to shout if your presence speaks for you. That's just a shorter way of putting it. And another great benefit is people that usually wouldn't start conversations with you, perhaps maybe they're more introverted or a bit more shyer, um, they would start a conversation with you because they feel like they know you, they feel comfortable approaching you because they know your tone, they know your energy, they know what you're like. It's like me meeting Sam last week after 10 years. He's now rubbing shoulders with Hollywood people, and I'm little old Ben, but I know how approachable he is and how nice he is. So I felt comfortable approaching him. I know it's sort of a different scale, but um, it's because he's so visible and so omnipresent online I felt totally comfortable approaching him. Now, and most importantly, you'll enjoy content more when it actually sounds like you, not some corporate chatbot. And James Hartley, are you finding that with when you're writing your content, are you feeling a lot more at ease?
Yeah, I've really enjoyed doing the stories the last couple of weeks, and it has definitely felt more like me and less like corporate James for sure.
Good. That's the whole point here. Good. Brilliant. Feels a lot more natural. And it
Yeah,
comes across a lot more natural.
yeah.
That's, why anyway, we'll have a chat about the impact those ones have had. Right, help me grow this community. So I'm really loving doing this. I hope you guys are loving it too. And I want to grow this community hub. This is the group coaching, and I got my one-to-one coaching, which is separate. But guys, I'd really love your support in building this up. So there are 3 things that you can do. You can post about it today, share one thing that you've learned. I know you've all been making notes, which is brilliant. And tag me, please. Doesn't matter what platform it's on, don't care. Tell a mate, just have a chin wag. If you know a founder who'd benefit from my services, again, if you're saying that Ben might not be your cup of tea, brilliant, because you know deep down that I would be their cup of tea, and you wouldn't be recommending me anyway if you knew that I wasn't their cup of tea. And no hard sell, just a good fit. I do my coffee chats. More than happy to have a chin wag, or forward the invite email. Just let me know, and you're more than welcome to forward the invite link, and just let me know they're coming. Obviously, I don't want them popping up. And yeah, they can try out a couple of sessions for free. More than happy to. But yeah, I'll open. Oh, actually, no. I'm going to go what's next. So this is the personal brand hub, by the way. So this is everything that's on well, there's actually way more now. This is quite old. But these are all the pre-recorded the recorded sessions that you guys will see. James Knox, get yourself registered, please. On there. Next week is this was James Hartley's idea. Lurkers into leads, turning likes on your social media posts into conversations that count. I think we all find this on social media, those that post regularly, is you've got these lurkers that like your posts. I've got a couple of coaches and stuff that constantly like my posts, and it's stupid of me. I should reach out to them and say, look, let's have a chat. But we're going to go over those kind of techniques next week, and we're also going to be going over you know, responding to comments as well and turning them into conversations. Week after that, why you're attracting the wrong people. Week after that, visibility feels dangerous, and here's why. And the week after that, your story isn't boring, you're just telling it like a bio, mate. And the week after that, turning stories into relevant content with strategy. If there's any ideas that you want to input and you want me to cover, I'd be more than happy to, regarding personal branding, visibility, clarity around whatever it might be with who you're serving, who you're attracting. That could be a good topic, actually. Then please do let me know. Right, I will stop the recording. Any questions on that? How would you